him. It was A.W. Tozier who wrote years ago, "The most important thing about you is what comes into your mind when you think of God. Tell me what you think of God, and I will tell you what is the direction and the trajectory of your life." A high view of God ultimately leads to high worship of God and high and holy living. And low views of God lead to trivial worship and lead to manipulative evangelism and lead to low base existence. Everything in one way or another hinges upon your understanding of who God is. God is that important. And this is why the most important issue facing the church in every generation is its understanding of God. No church, no ministry, no believer, no seminary, no society, no nation can rise any higher than its worthy thoughts of God. That is why Calvin began his institutes with the knowledge of God, understanding that everything flows out of our knowledge of God. The topic that has been assigned to me is a puny God. Those two words just do not even go together. This has to be the ultimate oxymoron, a total contradiction in terms. A puny God, such simply does not exist. But tragically, many people have crafted a puny God in their own minds. Some have a God who does not see or know the future. Some have a God who does not govern human history, but merely passively is an observer of the flow of the occurrences here. Some have a God who does not overcome man's resistance. A God who approves of every lifestyle. A God who is without a sovereign free will. Quite frankly, such a God is not to be praised, but to be pitied. To be sure, believing in a puny God produces puny worship and puny living. Puny theology produces puny doxology. And so it is. That's the way we want it. We want to have this awesome God, not a puny God. A puny fortress is our God. Puny, puny, puny. Oh, how puny thou art. That hymn just doesn't work. No, we need an awesome God, a majestic God, a sovereign God, an all-powerful God. And as we do, our own hearts are enlarged and we are elevated and we are lifted up and we live on high places. This is what the people of God needed to recover. Their view of God had become dismally small of our God. In every generation, when the church stands strong, it is in those hours in which the church has the highest view of God. And in those hours in which the church has languished in its impotence and has had so little effect upon the world around it, is when the church has had the most base and low views of God. And if we are to have a reformation, if we are to have a revival in this hour and this day, it will be a reformation and a revival that begins in the knowledge of God. For nothing is more important than the knowledge of God.